In the shadows of our existence, where doubt and fear often lurk, there echo the whispers of an ancient wisdom, a philosophy forged in hardship, tempered by the unyielding determination of those who have sought self-mastery. Together, let's explore 13 life lessons from the Stoic tradition, each a stepping stone toward inner certainty and self-mastery. Lesson 1. The power of perception. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul takes the color of its thoughts. Our perceptions shape our reality." It's not what happens to us that matters, but how we choose to interpret it. We can see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow. It is in our ability to transform adversity into wisdom that our true strength lies. Lesson 2. Virtue as the only supreme good. Seneca says, "The only good is virtue, the only evil is vice." The Stoic does not measure life in terms of wealth, power, or pleasure, but in terms of virtue. The pursuit of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance is the only path to a fulfilled life. Everything else is secondary, ephemeral, of no real importance. Lesson 3. Death as counselor. Remember that you must die, memento mori, is a constant reminder from the Stoic. It is not to plunge us into sadness, but to wake us up to the reality of our existence. By accepting our mortality, we learn to live fully, to value each moment, and to focus on what really matters. Lesson 4. The exercise of will. Seneca advises us, submit, harden yourself. Practice resistance, not to deprive yourself unnecessarily, but to strengthen your will. Through exercises of voluntary deprivation, we prepare ourselves for the inevitable difficulties of life. We learn not to be slaves to our desires, but to master them. Lesson 5. Living in accordance with nature. Epictetus teaches, do not ask that things happen as you desire, but desire that they happen as they happen, and you will be happy. Nature follows its course, indifferent to our desires. The Stoic learns to live in harmony with what is, accepting the world as it is rather than fighting against it. In this acceptance, we find a deep tranquility, an unshakable serenity. Lesson 6. Cultivating indifference to the indifferent. Seneca emphasizes that some things are indifferent, neither good nor bad in themselves. It teaches us not to be distracted by these indifferent things, whether it is wealth, fame, or comfort. We neither seek them nor reject them, but use them wisely if they arise, without ever becoming dependent on them. It is this indifference that frees us from the chains of attachment. Lesson 7. The power of now. Don't let yourself be distracted anymore. You don't have time to read anymore. Now that you're an adult, throw away everything that distracts you. Marcus Aurelius. The Stoic knows that life takes place only in the present. We must not be captive to the past or anxious about the future. By focusing our minds on the present moment, we can act with clarity and wisdom, finding peace and satisfaction in each moment. Lesson 8. The power of will. Strength does not come from physical ability. It comes from an indomitable will. Seneca. Willpower is one of the pillars of Stoic philosophy. It allows us to remain steadfast in the face of adversity, to continue moving forward even when the path is difficult. He does not let himself be defeated by circumstances, but draws on an unwavering inner strength to persevere. Lesson 9. The importance of wisdom. The wise man is not distressed by things, but by the judgment he makes of them. Epictetus. Wisdom is the key to navigating life with serenity. By constantly seeking to understand the world and refine our judgment, we free ourselves from the illusions that enslave us to our destructive emotions. Wisdom guides us toward a virtuous and balanced life. Lesson 10. Accepting the inevitable. What happens, happens, and you can't do anything about it. What you can do is adjust your perception. Marcus Aurelius. Life is full of events we can't control. The Stoic learns to accept the inevitable calmly, adjusting his expectations and adapting to the realities of the world. Lesson 11. Moral courage. Courage is the greatest of virtues, for without courage you cannot consistently practice any other virtue. Aristotle, often quoted by the Stoics. Moral courage is essential to living by Stoic principles. It is having the fortitude to do what is right, even when it is difficult or unpopular. The Stoic stands for truth, justice, and integrity, regardless of the consequences. Lesson 12. The value of temperance. Temperance is a great treasure for man because it keeps him from falling into excess. Seneca. Temperance is the art of moderation, of balancing our desires and our actions. It protects us from excesses that can harm our health, our relationships, and our inner peace. By practicing temperance, we find a harmonious balance in our lives. Lesson 13. Controlling the uncontrollable. Epictetus reminds us, what troubles men is not things but the judgments they make about them. The Stoic learns to differentiate between what is within his control and what is beyond his control. We cannot control external events, but we can always choose our response. By focusing our efforts on what is within our power, we find inner peace. These Stoic life lessons are not just advice, but invitations to live with depth, resilience, and wisdom. By following these principles, we forge within ourselves an unwavering inner strength that can withstand the storms of life.